Good Friday out there, all my winners. This is John with Break the Board, where we go down through everything in the slate for the gambling card for sports betting on the day. Last night, 1-1, the Boston Red Sox let us down there late, but we did get in the Toronto Blue Jays, so there was a split there. That after a 4-0 Wednesday and a 4-2 Tuesday. So it's been a really good week so far, 9-3. Good enough for 6.25 units as we roll into Friday here. If between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we could hit that 10 mark, that would really, really bode a long way and give us a lot of momentum. I'd like to thank our sponsors, the Believe Network. Thank you guys for all you do. Bet Online is your number one source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. Bet Online continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use the promo code BLEAV, in all caps, BLEAV, BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, where the game starts. So NBA free agency is underway. Obviously, the big news, James Harden couldn't reach an agreement with the Sixers. He opts back in, and it looks like now that they're going to work out a trade. Where does he go? Reports are, since Eric Gordon was released by the LA Clippers yesterday, which frees up about $20 million in cap space, that the Clippers seem to be in the mix for this to try to put a big three together with Harden, with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. I guess the good thing about that is Kawhi doesn't play but 20% of the season. Paul George, he's a little bit of a workhorse. How do he and Harden mix? Again, I still don't think it fixes the ultimate issue, which is, again, out west, you have the Denver Nuggets with size. You have the LA Lakers with size. You have Phoenix with size. So I don't really know how much this works out for the Clippers. And if you're Philly, you got to get this right. If you're going to trade, you have got to get this right, because Joel Embiid, it's got to be at the point where he's over the process too, right? This is a guy that's a league MVP, has played well, a lot of good things going with him, but he wants to win, right? And if you're Embiid, at some point in time, you got to look around and say, I can't get it done with this franchise. So it'll be very interesting to see how that plays out. Kyrie Irving, apparently he's going to visit the Suns. Why? I have no clue. The only thing that would make sense is that they would trade DeAndre Ayton. That in mind doesn't make sense to me, because, again, to win the West, you're going to need size. You're just going to. And the fact that, again, I don't know why anybody would be interested in Kyrie. I mean, I don't even see his own family wanting him at the family reunion barbecue, to be quite honest with you. I mean, why would you? I mean, that guy's a disaster. But with that being said, I think there's a lot there for the Mavericks. I think he re-signs with the Mavs. The Mavs already paid the Kings ransom in a trade for him, so they're locked in. They almost have to take him now, take him back. And if you're another team, you don't need him. Again, for the Suns, and this thing, him and KD, they just cannot get away from each other, and it really makes no sense to me. But we'll keep an eye on that. Lillard does not request the trade from the Blazers. This whole thing is, I mean, this is like a marriage where both people know it's over, but they just can't bring themselves to do it because nobody wants to be the bad guy. So Lillard, plenty of places he could go. Look, he said Brooklyn. I don't know what he's smoking there, but I think Miami, obviously, he's been rumored to want to go there. Miami makes a ton of sense. I think the Milwaukee Bucks makes a ton of sense. Places where he could win, but we'll see how that plays out. Also, rumored here, we had the odds to win for NCAA basketball. Duke comes out of the chute as the favored. Kentucky second. Michigan State third. So we'll watch that. We'll get a little deeper into that as the fall comes and really dive into that. I'm going to be having a couple short shows and short clip shows breaking down divisions. So you guys should like a lot of that. You'll get a lot of that during the MLB All-Star break, which rolls around here. The last day they play is July 9th. And then you'll have the All-Star break the 10th through the 13th. So that week will really be packed with diving into special shows, breaking down football. It's right around the corner. Hall of Fame game August 6th. Excuse me. August 26th, we get rolling with college football. Already starting to get the work done on that. So expecting a great college football and NFL football season. Breaking down our card here on this Good Friday. 9-7-1 in the rotation. The Cleveland Indians will visit 9-7-2, the Chicago Cubbies. Cubbies minus 162, comeback plus 135 with the Indians. Cubs are going to send Justin Steele, the southpaw, to the hill. Cal Quantrill will get the call for the Indians. Quantrill 2-4 with a 5.61, 1.42 whip. 5 1/3 innings pitched. Justin Steele 8-2, 2.62, 1.06 whip. Your over-under sets at 8.5, juice minus 115 to the over. Guardians 6-1 in their last 7 versus a team with a losing record. The Cubs have now dropped 4 in a row, but the over is 4-0 in the Cubs' last 4 versus the American League Central. The under 5-0 in the last 5 meetings. The Guardians, Indians, whatever you want to call it, should be the Indians. That's the Indians. You know what I mean? When an Indian, when the mascot is named after the first ever Native American baseball player, least we could do is respect them and keep that going. Indians, 27th ranked Dolphins, Cubbies, 13th in Major League Baseball. That's the problem with the Indians. They just can't score, man. They got some good pitching, Bieber, Quantrill, McKenzie. You know, they got guys, Bibby. They got guys that can pitch. They just can't score. I mean, those bats, it's like a mortuary. It's so quiet in there. Quantrill, when he goes in his last 3 starts, the Indians are 0-3. When Justin Steele takes the rosin back for the Cubs in the last 3, they're 2-1. Quantrill, 1.64 whip, 10.93 ERA. He's been roughed up a little bit. Steele, 0.86 whip and a 1.93 ERA. This kid's really just been lights out. I've been so impressed with Steele. He pitched over there in London. He's just really had a good season. Cubs lost 4 in a row. Cubs got a lot of talent. I still think somehow, some way, they find a way to get themselves where they need to be to win this division. But the Cubs here, I don't like laying $1.62. I think that's a little rich. Maybe you find somebody to parlay them with. However, with that being said, it's either the Cubs or nothing here to break their losing streak. 9-5-7, the San Diego Padres will face 9-5-8, the Cincinnati Reds. Seth Lugo will get the call for the Padres. Graham Ashcraft will get the call for the Reds. Padres minus 145 on the road, plus 122 on the comeback for the Reds. Lugo 3-4 with a 4.01 ERA. Ashcraft 3-6 with a 7.17 ERA. Your over-under is 11, juiced minus 120 to the over. The over 3-0-1 in the Padres' last 4 overall. And the over is 4-1 in the last 5 meetings in Cincinnati. Padres 16-5 the last 21 meetings when they hook up with the Reddies. 5-1 the last 6 in Cincinnati. Padres 20th ranked offense, 6th ranked defense. Reds 7th ranked offense, 27th ranked defense in Major League Baseball. Lugo in his last 3 starts has a 6.75 ERA. Ashcraft has a 16.03 ERA. When both of them pitch in their last 3, 0-3. So look, I want no parts of this. Both of these pitchers, it might look like a home run derby, but I can't take the over because 11's a really steep price in Major League Baseball. So I'll shy away from that. 9-5-1, the Washington Nationals will face 9-5-2, the Philadelphia Phillies. Phillies seem to be getting it back on track a little bit here. Minus 175 with Christopher Sanchez. The southpaw will get the call for the Phillies. Nats still don't know who they're throwing. Sanchez 0-1 with a 4.05 ERA. 4 1/3 innings pitched his last outing. The over-under is 9, juice minus 125 to the over. The over 21-7-2 the last 30 meetings. The Nationals 13-38 the last 51 times they've locked horns with the Phillies. And the Nats 6-18 the last 24 meetings in Philadelphia. Again, not enough here with the pitchers. So I'm going to take a pass today on that. Phillies, though, have been red hot, just coming off the sweep of the Cubs. Like I said the other day on our main podcast, Bustin' Chops Calling Shots, which you can catch every Thursday or Friday when it drops. It'll drop today, which is Friday. But the Phillies, I still think they make the playoffs. I think the Braves are head and shoulders the best team in that division. I think the Braves are the best team in baseball. However, the Philadelphia Phillies got the recipe to make that long, deep run like they did last year. They're loaded in the lineup. All they got to do is get healthy. And their pitching staff, Wheeler, now that Ranger Suarez is back, Nola, every once in a while, he can throw a gem. So the Phillies got a huge, deep roster that they can make another World Series run. 9-5-3, the Milwaukee Brewers will face 9-5-4, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Freddie Peralta will get the call for the Brewers. Asaldo Bido will get the call for the Pirates. Pirates plus 126, Brewers minus 150. Peralta 5-7 with a 4.65 ERA. Bido 0-1 with a 3.45 ERA. Your over-under is 8.5, juice minus 120 to the over. The under 3-0-1 in the Brewers' last 4 road games. The Pirates 0-9 within the division of the National League Central, their last 9 games. Remember, the Pirates started out hot. I told you they'd come back to life. That Pirate ship has been sinking quickly. The over 10-1-1 in the Pirates' last 12 games during game 1 of a series. Brewers, though, 1-4 in their last 5 in Pittsburgh, but 47-21 in the last 68 overall. The under 4-1 in the last 5 has cashed in. Brewers 26th ranked offense, 12th ranked defense. Pirates 21st ranked offense, 18th ranked defense in Major League Baseball. Over their last 3, when Bido goes, the Pirates are 0-3, but he does have a 3.45 ERA. Freddie Peralta, the Brewers are 1-2, but he's got a 5.06 ERA. Peralta has really struggled when he pitches. The Brewers are 2-4 in his last 6 outings, but against the Pirates, he's had a lot of success. When he goes, the Brewers are 5-1 in their last 6. He pitched 1 time earlier this year, a 5-2 win for Milwaukee, where he went 6 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, both earned with 9 strikeouts. Bido, in his last 3 starts, is all he's made in his career. 0-3. He's never faced the Milwaukee Brewers. I would kind of want to see how this plays out. I don't like laying that much wood with Peralta. He's been a little skittish. The Pirates, like I said, they have fallen off. But, I mean, that's a big price to lay on the road. I'm just going to take a little bit of a pass there. Let's see how game 1 plays out. Sometimes the best bet is no bet, and you set up a bet by what happens early in the series in baseball, right? So just kind of like in the NFL, okay, Eagles going on the road to play the Chiefs, big game, they're psyched up for it, they win. It's a good spot because they'll get overvalued the next week on the road at a bad team laying double digits, right? So you just kind of got to see how that goes and how that plays in. Next on the docket is the Minnesota Twinkies at the Baltimore Orioles. Twinkies will send Pablo Lopez to the hill, 3-5 with a 4.41 ERA, 1.16 whip, averaging about 6 innings pitched per outing. Dean Kremer will get the call for the Orioles, 8-3 with a 4.50 ERA, 1.36 whip, averaging about 5 2/3 innings pitched, minus 110 both ways. Over-under sets at 9, juiced minus 120 to the over. When these teams hook up, the under is 4-0 the last 4 meetings and 16-6 to the under the last 22 times there at Camden Yards in Baltimore. Twinkies 36-16 the last 52, and the Twinkies are 11-5 the last 16 in Baltimore. the Twinkies have really had their way with the Orioles. With that being said, you know how high I am on the Orioles this year. I think I think they got the ability. I still think they're going to win the American League East. I think when it's all said and done, they catch Tampa and they pass them, and I think they make a deep run to the ALCS. Orioles, 9th ranked offense, 15th ranked defense. Twinkies, 24th ranked offense, but the 2nd ranked defense in Major League Baseball behind the Rays. Again, Twins, very good pitching, very solid. Just like everybody else in the American League Central, they struggle to score the daggone baseball. In the last 3 starts, when Lopez goes, the Twinkies are 1-2. He's got a 1.25 WHIP, 5.09 ERA. In Krimmer's last 3 starts when he pitches, he's 2-0, but the Orioles are 3-0 overall, 1.06 WHIP, 3 ERA flat when he goes. Lopez, in his last 4 starts, the Twins have only been able to capture one of those. He pitched against Baltimore back in 2020 when he was with the Marlins in a loss 4-0. Krimmer has never faced the Twins, but look, in his last 5 starts when he goes, the Orioles are 4-1, and more importantly, in Krimmer's last 10 starts of this season, when he pitches, the Orioles are 8-2. Give me the Orioles minus 110 on the 110 both way. I like the Baltimore Orioles today. More than likely, unless something happens on the injury front, that's definitely going to be a play. If nothing else, definitely a hard lean as you guys make your plays today. Remember, you can always email me, john@bccssports.com, so we can talk about money management, can talk about a plan for you, can get you hooked up, signed up, so we can get you winning. Got a good, sweet deal I can have for the rest of the baseball season to basically give that to you for free to sign up for football and college basketball, 13 years in a row, at least 150 games over 500. Next in the rotation, 9-6-3, the Boston Red Sox will face 9-6-4, the Toronto Blue Jays. Southpaw James Paxton will get the call for the Red Sox. Jose Barrios will get the call for the Blue Jays. Barrios and the Blue Jays laying 135 plus 115 on the comeback from the Red Sox coming off that sweep against the Marlins at home. Not a good look. Paxton 3-1 with a 3.19 ERA, 1.02 WHIP. Barrios 8-5 with a 3.60 ERA, 1.22 WHIP. Your over-under is 9, juiced minus 120 to the over. Red Sox have now lost 5 in a row, 0-5 in their last 5. The over 4-0 in the last 4 in Paxton's last 4 starts. Red Sox 1-6 the last 7 in Toronto, and 8-20 altogether the last 28 meetings. The Toronto Blue Jays have really had their way with the Red Sox. Blue Jays bring in the 15th best offense in Major League Baseball, 11th best defense. Red Sox 8th best offense, but 23rd best defense. Red Sox have really had problems with their bullpen, but in the last 3 starts, Paxton, when he goes, the Red Sox are 1-2, but he's went 5 1/3, 0.67 WHIP. Paxton has really bounced back. Remember, when he was with the Mariners, he was lights out, went to the Yankees, kind of fell off, fought some injuries. If that guy can get back to where he was, Paxton had a really good 2 years there in Seattle, his last 2. 0.67 WHIP, a 2.20 ERA. Barrios, no slouch. The Blue Jays are 2-1 in the last 3 outings he's had. 1.19 WHIP, 3.57 ERA. When Paxton goes, though, again, he hasn't given up many runs at all, but he just hasn't got the run support. 2-4 in his last 6 when he goes. 3 wins, 7 losses for the Red Sox when he pitches. So despite the good ERA, he has just not received the run support. But against the Toronto Blue Jays, it's been a little bit better. He's got a 500 record over his last 10 starts against them since 2014. But Barrios, you just can't deny him, man. His last 7 starts, when he goes, Toronto is 6-1. And in his last 6 starts, he is 4-2 against the Boston Red Sox. I really want to take the Red Sox at plus money here to end the streak, as they've lost 5 in a row. However, I don't want to step in front of Barrios and the Blue Jays right now, so I'll just probably take a pass on that. Next in the rotation, 9-5-5, the San Francisco Giants. They'll lock up with the biggest disappointment in Major League Baseball, the New York Mets. Giants -116, -102 are the Mets. Alex Cobb will get the call for the Giants. Carlos Carrasco will get the call for the Mets. Cobb 5-2 with a 3.09 ERA, 1.37 WHIP. Carrasco 2-3 with a 6.19 ERA, 1.56 WHIP. Your over/under is at 9, even -110 both ways. The under 4-0 in the Giants' last 4 games overall. The under 3-0-1 in the Mets' last 4 overall. But the over 6-1-2 the last 9 meetings between these teams. Giants, 10th best offense in Major League Baseball. The Mets hold the 14th best offense in Major League Baseball. If you look over the last 3, Cobb, 1.26 WHIP, 3 wins, no losses for the Giants when he pitches. 3.24 ERA. Totally backwards for the Mets with Carrasco. 0-3 when he pitches in his last 3. 2.06 WHIP, 6.94 ERA. To only have to lay 116 with Cobb and the Giants here, that's another strong lean. So far, strong leans on the Orioles, the Giants, even though the price is high, I would dance out there with the Chicago Cubs. 9-5-9, the Miami Marlins will face 9-6-0, the Atlanta Braves. Brian Hoeing is going to get the call for the Marlins. Braves still haven't announced a starting pitcher yet. Hoeing 1-1 with a 2.31, averaging 2 innings pitched per. Again, he's much more of a bullpen guy, not a starter, so to speak there. Head-to-head with these two teams, the Braves have won 3 in a row, and they've won 6 of the last 7 against the Marlins. Again, got to see the pitcher, got to see the lines. But look, this will be a really good series to figure out how good are the Marlins. Like, I know they just went up to Boston and swept them. I know the Marlins are playing really good baseball, but you got the Atlanta Braves as the team they're chasing in the division, the much better team, the team that's much more seasoned. It'll just be interesting to see how the Marlins can compete with them as this series goes on throughout the weekend. So be having your eye on that, especially if you're looking at futures and whatnot. 9-6-5, Houston Astros will face 9-6-6, Texas Rangers. Will battle of Texas here. Ronald Blanco will get the call for the Astros. John Gray, who's been incredible, will get the call for the Rangers. Rangers -172, comeback +145 for the Astros. Your over-under is 9.5, juiced -130 to the under. Blanco 1-0 with a 4.63, 1.51 WHIP. But again, he's a bullpen guy, 2 innings per. John Gray 6-3 with a 2.89 ERA. Gray's just been absolutely phenomenal. Astros 0-4 in their last 4 games in game 1 of a series, but the over 3-0-2 in the Rangers' last 5 overall. The Astros 4-0 in their last 4 meetings in Texas, and 41-17 the last 58 overall. Under 15-7 the last 22 meetings. Astros 11th best offense in Major League Baseball. Texas Rangers the number 1 offense in Major League Baseball. Astros 3rd-ranked defense in Major League Baseball. Rangers 5th best defense in Major League Baseball. So pitching and defense, these teams have been really, really good at. In their last 3 starts, not as big of a difference as the overall numbers. Gray 4.41 ERA, 1.10 WHIP. Blanco 1.13 WHIP, 5.09 ERA. So not their last couple starts has not fared like it had been to start. When Ronald Blanco starts, he's lost his last 3 this year, 1-3 when he goes. Gray, after being red hot and winning 6 in a row, has only won 1 of the last 2. And against Houston, 1-3, he lost earlier this year, going 2 innings, 1 hit, 1 earned run there in that one. I would have to look back and see why he left so early. But the Rangers there, no way I can lay that amount of money. Again, we'll set up a bet possibly for the weekend, and we'll just kind of see how game 1 goes. 9-7-5, the LA Dodgers will face 9-7-6 Kansas City Royals. Again, any game that involves the Royals, even though I did like him yesterday with Greinke, but I was like at plus money, but I was like, man, I can't give out the Royals. People think I'm an idiot. And some of you already think I'm an idiot. So there you go. Not Bobby Miller will get the call for the Dodgers. Alec Marsh will get the call for the Royals. Dodgers laying $2.30 plus 190 on the comeback. Marsh making his first ever major league start. Miller 3-1 with a 4.13 ERA. There's absolutely no way I can take the Royals against the Dodgers. Again, talking about how that line's a little bit higher than I like with the Cubs. Maybe you do a nice little money line parlay, Cubs-Dodgers. That wouldn't be a bad one. 9-7-3, the Detroit Tigers will face 9-7-4, the Colorado Rockies. Michael Lorenzen will get the call for the Tigers. Austin Gomer Powell will get the call for the Rockies. Lorenzen and the Tigers minus 125. Gomer Powell and the Rockies plus 106. Lorenzen 2-5 with a 3.97 ERA. Gomer 5-7 with a 7.01 ERA. Look, you can only go one way here. It's either Tigers or nothing. When a guy's named Gomer Powell, that tells you all you need to know. Next on the docket here, 9-7-7 against 9-7-8, the St. Louis Cardinals. Yankees versus Cardinals. Luis Severino will get Matthew Liberatore, the southpaw for the Cardinals. Yankees 2 in a row against the Oakland A's. What does that mean? Well, you should score against the A's. They stink. Severino 1-2 with a 5.25 ERA, 1.50 WHIP. Liberatore 1-2 with a 5.60 WHIP. Or 5.60 ERA, rather, 1.65 WHIP. Your over-under sets at 9.5, juice minus 122 to the over. The over is 7-0 for the Yankees, 7-0 to the over. The last 7 games versus a left-handed starter. The Yanks, though, are 1-4 the last 5 in St. Louis and 9-4 to the under the last 13 meetings. With that being said, minus 110 both ways. I like the New York Yankees here. That's another lean. Look, they're playing good baseball. You never know what you're going to get with the Cardinals. I know Judge is still out. I know they just played the A's. That's nothing impressive. But I think Severino, he's really struggled here out the gates. I think he puts it together, has a really nice outing, and the Yanks capture the win. Next on the docket, 9-7-9, the Arizona Diamondbacks will face 9-8-0, the Los Angeles Angels. Griffin Canning will get the call for the Angels. Southpaw Tommy Henry will get the call for the D-backs. Angels minus 160, D-backs plus 135. I mean, the fact that the Angels are laying $1.60 to the best team in the National League West, and you could get the Diamondbacks at plus 135 is pretty crazy. Henry 4-1 with a 4.31 ERA, 1.37 WHIP. Griffin Canning 6-2 with a 3.99 ERA. Your over-under sets at 9.5. Even money both ways. D-backs 0-4 the last 4 meetings and 5-0-1 to the over the last 6. D-backs 5th best offense in Major League Baseball. Angels 6th best offense, so expect a lot of runs in this meeting. 20th ranked defense for D-backs, 17th for the Angels. Again, I think you should see a lot of runs scored in this series. Should be a really fun series. Shohei Ohtani hits his 10th home run last night in the month of June. That dude's he's a beast. Last 3, Henry, 1.56 WHIP. When he goes, the D-backs are 3-0, but his ERA is a little high, 4.15. Griffin Canning, when he goes in his last 3, the Angels are 2-1. He's got a 0.94 WHIP and a 2.65 ERA. Even still, with Griffin Canning pitching that well, I just can't lay that. I can't lay $1.60 with a team against another team that's number 1 in their division. I don't care what the pitching matchup that's betting 101. You either take the Arizona Diamondbacks here, or you don't bet the game. That's just my personal opinion for what it's worth. 9-6-7 Chicago White Sox, 9-6-8 Oakland A's. White Sox have not named a pitcher. There is no line out. The A's, it doesn't really matter who pitches for them. But Luis Medina goes 1-7 with a 6.84 ERA. So like I said, he's terrible, so it really doesn't matter who pitches for Tampa Bay Rays, last game of the night will close out here on the card. 9-6-9, the Rays will visit 9-7-0, the Seattle Mariners. Shane McClanahan back off the DL, the southpaw guy that's the leader in the clubhouse for the AL Cy Young at this point. McClanahan gets a call for the Rays. Bryce Miller will get the call for the Seattle Mariners. McClanahan 11-1 with a 2.23 ERA, 1.12 WHIP. Miller 5-3 with a 3.88 ERA, 0.97 WHIP. Both of these pitchers average 5 2/3 innings pitched. Tampa Bay minus 145, plus 125 on the comeback for Seattle. The over 3-0-1 in the Rays' last 4 games in game 1 of a series. The Rays 5-1 the last 6 meetings, but pay attention to this next one. The Rays are 6-14 the last 20 meetings in Seattle. Rays do have the number 1 ranked defense, number 2 ranked offense. Mariners number 18th in offense, number 10th in defense. Again, McClanahan coming off the DL, but in his last 3 starts, McClanahan 2-1, 0.98 WHIP, 3.12 ERA. But check this out, Bryce Miller 2-1, 0.98 WHIP, 2.60 ERA. Same number of wins, same exact WHIP as McClanahan, but an ERA that's 0.52 better than McClanahan. In his career, McClanahan has had 2 starts against the Mariners, once in 2021, another one in 2022. He has split those out. Bryce Miller, when he goes 3-3 in his last 6 are the Mariners. He's never faced the Rays. Look, everybody's going to bet the Tampa Bay Rays, and I'm not saying to bet the Seattle Mariners. I'm not saying that. But Bryce Miller has pitched just as good, if not better than McClanahan in his last 3 outings. And here's just a rule I have. When a pitcher is making his first start coming off the DL, or it's like middle of the season and the guy's coming off the DL, I can't bet that guy. And I'm definitely not laying $1.45 with the guy, right? So again, I'm not saying you take the Mariners. If I'm going to lay wood on the road, I know he's the leading AL Cy Young candidate. I get all that. He's been the best pitcher in the American League, maybe even the best pitcher in baseball. The guy's been lights out. But when you're making your first start coming off the DL, there's no way I can lay that kind of juice. So again, just to go back through leans, we're going to lean plus 135 with the D-backs, minus 110 with the Yankees. Maybe put the Dodgers, Cubs in a parlay, but I do like the Cubs despite the high line. Giants minus 115, Orioles minus 110. Those are my leans. Again, gun to my head though, I would probably also look at Seattle. Gun to my head, I would maybe look at the Astros just because both of them have big plus money prices. Again, plays will be out somewhere between 3 and 5 o'clock Eastern time. We've had a really good week, 9-3. So let's see if we can keep it rolling. If you're interested in a package, John at bccsports.com is where you can reach me. So we can get you on a package. BetOnline is your number 1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting in your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use the promo code BLEAV, all caps, BLEAV, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online where the game starts. Again, we like to always thank our sponsors. Bet Online, Believe Network, all you guys do. Look, it's Good Friday. It's been a phenomenal week gambling, but it's even been a better week. You want to know why? Because God woke you up and he woke me up, right? So each and every day, we got to be thankful. If you wake up and you have a feeling of gratitude and a feeling of thankfulness and just realize how good God is. We always ask, I need this, I need this, I need that. And we're not grateful and thankful enough for the things that we truly have, right? And it's the same thing. I always relay everything back to sports betting, right? You got to be appreciative of the times you're 3-9 to really appreciate the times where you're 9-3, because it's so hard picking winners 13 years in a row of 150 games over 500. It's going to be really tough to get there this year. I did myself no favors in April and May. Again, really, thank God March was the end of the season. We finished 286 games over last year. But look, March Madness was my worst I've ever had. So really a bad 2.5 month stretch till we've started to stack some units here in June. But again, you got to be appreciative and you got to go through hard stuff. There's nothing easy. Easy come, easy go. You always got to have just that plug through, plug away. Things aren't always going to go your way in life. There's things that get in the way all day long. You just got to be stronger, right? You got to be, it's just like if you say, either I'm a recreational guy that's going to jump from handicapper to handicapper to handicapper, or listen to buddy or buddy. You got to be stronger mentally than that, because if you want to make money at this, you can make money. There's hundreds, thousands of people that make a living betting on sports, and that's their job and that's all they do. But it's like everything else in life. It starts with an extreme amount of discipline, a level head, thankfulness, and gratitude, right? Motivation only gets you so far. Everybody's motivated. Everybody wants to lose weight. Everybody wants to have money. Everybody's motivated, but it's the discipline that gets you there. Guys, have a blessed Friday. I love you so much. Thank you, my winners, and I'll holler at you soon.